Hi, welcome to Kevin Alone's audiobook reading Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Part 3.11. Most people or organizations that have something to sell, be it a product, service, or idea, hope to achieve some level of mass market success or acceptance. Most hope to penetrate the bell of the curve. Getting there, however, is easier said than done. When you ask small businesses about their goals, many of them will tell you they want to be a $1 billion business in X number of years. The odds of that happening, unfortunately, don't look good. Of the 27 million businesses registered in the United States, fewer than 2,000 ever reach $1 billion in annual revenues, and 99.9% of all businesses in America have fewer than 500 employees. In other words, mass market success is really hard to achieve. Big companies have similar challenges repeating their mass market success. Just because they've done it once or twice doesn't mean they know how to do it every time. The Zune, Microsoft's entry into the multi gigabyte MP3 player market, for example, was pegged to take on the iPod. It didn't happen. Even if the quality is superior, there is more to succeeding than just the product and the marketing. Don't forget, the superior Betamax technology did not beat out the substandard VHS technology as the standard format for videotape in the 1980s. The best does not always win. Like any natural law, the law of diffusion must be considered if mass market acceptance is important to you. Refusal to do so will cost a lot of money and may result in a mediocre success, if not complete failure. There is an irony to mass market success, as it turns out. It's near impossible to achieve if you point your marketing and resources to the middle of the curve, the bell curve. If you attempt to woo those represent in the middle of the curve without first appealing to the early adopters, it can be done, but at massive expense. This is because the early majority, according to Rogers, will not try something until someone else has tried it first. The early majority, indeed the entire majority, need the recommendation of someone else who has already sampled the product or service. They need to know someone else has tested it. They need that trusted personal recommendation. According to the law of diffusion, mass market success can only be achieved after you penetrate between 15% to 18% of the market. That's because the early majority won't try something new until someone else has tried it first. This is why we have to drop our price or offer value added services. We're attempting to reduce the risk tolerance of these practical minded people until they feel comfortable to buy. That's what a manipulation is. They may buy, but they won't be loyal. Don't forget, loyalty is when people are willing to suffer some inconvenience or pay a premium to do business with you. They may even turn down a better offer from someone else, something that the late majority rarely does. The ability to get the system to tip is the point at which the growth of a business or the spreading of an idea starts to move at an extraordinary pace. It is also at this point that a product gains mass market acceptance, the point at which an idea becomes a movement. When that happens, the growth is not only exponential, it is automatic. It is goes. It is just goes. The goal of business then should not be to simply sell to anyone who wants what you have, the majority, but rather to find people who believe what you believe. The left side of the bell curve, the perceive greater value in what you do, and will happily pay a premium or suffer some sort of inconvenience to be part of your costs. They're the ones who, on their own volition, will tell others about you. That 15 to 80% is not made up of people who are simply willing to buy the product. It is the percentage of people who share your beliefs and want to incorporate your ideas, your products, and your services into their own lives as was to their own lives. They look to what you do as a tangible element that demonstrates their own purpose, cause, or belief to the outside world. Their willingness to pay a premium or suffer inconvenience to use your product or service says more about them than it does about you and your products. Their ability to easily see why they need to incorporate your products into their lives makes this group the most loyal customers. They're also the most loyal shareholders and the most loyal employees. No matter where they sit in the spectrum, these are the people who not only love you, but talk about you. Get enough of the people on the left side of the curve on your side, and they encourage the rest to follow. I love asking businesses what their conversion is on new business efforts. Many answer proudly 10%. Even if you ignore the principles of the golden circle, the law of averages says you can win about 10% of the business. Throw enough spaghetti against the wall, and enough of it sticks. The grow of the business, all you need to do is more prospecting, which is why growing your business is aiming at the middle of the curve is so expensive. Though the business may grow, the average will stay about the same, and 10% is not enough for the system to tip. Likewise, 10% of your existing customers or clients will naturally show loyalty to you. But why are they loyal to you? Like our inability to explain why we love our spouses, the best we can muster up to explain what makes them such great clients is they just get it. And though this explanation may feel right, it is completely unactionable. How do you get more people to get it? This is what Moore refers to as the chasm, the transition between the early adopters and the early majority, and it's hard to cross, but not if you know why. If you have the discipline to focus on the early adopters, the majority will come along eventually, but it must start with why. Simply focusing on so called influencers is not enough. The challenge is which influencers? There are those who seem to fit the influencer profile more than others, but in reality, we are all influencers in different times for different reasons. You just don't want any influencer. You want someone who believes what you believe. Only then will they talk about you without any prompts or incentives. If they truly believe in what you believe, and if they are truly on the left side of the curve, they won't need to be incentivized. They'll do it because they want to. The entire act of incentivizing an influencer is manipulative. It renders the influencer completely inauthentic to his or her group. It won't take long for the group to find out that a recommendation wasn't made with the group's best interests in mind, but rather because of one's personal or person's self interest. Trust erodes and the value of the influencer is rendered useless. Refusing to consider the law of diffusion will cost you. In 1997, TIVO was racing to market with a remarkable new device. You would debate that from time the product was introduced to the present day, TIVO has had the single highest quality product in its category. The company's PR has been extraordinary. They have achieved an unaided awareness that most brands can only dream of. They have become more than generic terms like Kleenex, Band Aids, and Q tips. In fact, they have been able to achieve more generic status. They are a verb in the English language to TiVo. They were all funded with venture capital and it had a technology that could truly reinvent how we consume television. The problem was they marketed their technology directly to the middle of the bell curve, seeing the mass market appeal of the product. They ignored the principles of the law of diffusion and targeted the masses. Compounding that bad aim, they attempted to appeal to the cynical majority by explaining what the product did instead of stating why the company or the product existed in the first place.